concentrated alcohol, and we're just going to line and kind of swirl it into our bottle, and then we're going to dump out the excess, and then we're going to add a little electricity to it. And when we do that, okay, we're going to...
You gotta catch it.
Gotta catch it over there. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Get it!
So I did peroxide, and not the stuff that you put on Howie's at home. It's 30%. This is more of a bleaching concentration. We got this from Flynn, but you can get it from like hair clinics or salons too. So I'm gonna put 75 milliliters in. Stop. Ryle, I need you to put dish soap and more food coloring in, please. A squirt of dish soap. What the dish soap is going to do is help make it more foamy or bubbly, which is pretty awesome. You decide how much red you want it. Oh, we're going red. Okay. Now stir it up. No, that's fine. You get the breakable one. I get the safe one. Right now, you have the most important job. If you screw this up, the whole thing's done.
Come on!
Okay, ready? So I'm going to put potassium iodide in. We found out that this powder actually works better than the stuff this morning. And so, here. Now, when I pour this, I'm going to tell you to go. And you're going to pour that. It's fast, but not as messy. You know what I'm saying? You got to go fast, but don't splatter it all over. Because I don't want to look like I ran into somebody's deck. Ready? Go. Now watch out.
What the heck?
Whoa! Is that so
Okay, Ryle, now put your hands by it and explain to them what's going on.
It's pretty hot, I guess.
It's pretty. I would say it's really hot because if I touch this now, I would burn myself. And we also now have a new substance. This is not what we had before, and we saw the bubbles and the foaming. So great reaction. So thank you, Rex.
I'm going to use a chemical reaction between potassium chlorate and gummy bears, and the sugar that's in the gummy bears. So what we're doing here is we're just going to melt this down. We need it into a liquid so we have good surface area mixture with the sugar. But basically what we're going to do here is the gummy bears contain a lot of sugar. That's a lot of what they are. And we're going to actually break down those bonds between the carbons and hydrogens that make up sugar because it has a lot of energy, which is why when we eat sugar we get more energy. So we're going to try and take this chemical reaction and try and excite this chemical reaction and break these bonds apart and produce as much energy as we possibly can. And in my book, it's a lot cooler than just eating gummy bears. It's a much better way to use gummy bears. We'll wait for this to melt. And it wouldn't be Christmas without having gummy bears, right? Sugar. Alright, so we'll take this liquefied potassium chlorate, add our gummy bear to it. It's a much cooler reaction, right? We get this nice smoking effect coming off the top, so we got carbon coming out, we can actually see it raining down underneath. We get our bright light, and we have a whole bunch of carbon being formed in the bottom with a whole bunch of hydrogen gases being released. So you can see that bright pink color is that hydrogen gas that we're producing there. But we end up with this big lump of carbon at the very bottom of this because that sugar has burned up all the hydrogens and all the energy, and all we're left with is this big lump of carbon in the very bottom of it. So the sugars have broken down and produced this really cool reaction. Now,
And so I'm going to, like Mr. Iverson said, I'm just going to add some powdered sugar. What I'm going to do is patiently wait. What? More? More. We want a big bang, I guess, for today. And then what we're going to do is put sulfuric acid. This is very corrosive. It can really burn you if you wanted to, so that's why I'm wearing all my protective gear. And I'm going to put enough in to make the powdered sugar float. And then I'm just going to stir it. And as I'm stirring it, what I'm doing is I'm starting to break down that sugar, similar to what happened over there. We'll notice that we now have a color change, which is something we also talked about. Be patient. So one of the things that my kids really like are those black snakes at fire time, or at 4th of July time. So this is that same reaction. It's going to keep growing until that powdered sugar is all burnt down. Sulfuric acid is very strong odored, so you will smell it, or I will smell like it all day. But it's going to keep growing. And eventually, right now, it's kind of soft, but as it cools, it's going to become really hard. You won't be able to play with it or mess with it. We're pretty much throw it right in the garbage because that's it. So the black, just like the gummy bears, you have the carbon in the bottom waiting, and it's still going to grow until all that powdered sugar is now broken.
That's my axe. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a powder called lycopodium, and we're going to put this into our tube here. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a little flame to it. And we're going to blow that powder out of the tube. So if you want to count it down,
3,
2, 1. You can do cool tricks like that.